A girl is looking for something when he ends up finding it. Later, a man and woman arrive at the house and greet the girl. The woman said that they had just returned from the registry office and that they were very happy. She then said that she missed her daughter there. The woman then tries to talk to her daughter, but she doesn't want to talk to her mother. She then asks if everything was alright and the girl says that she didn't like her mother's husband. The woman then said that her daughter should accept the man as he was her new husband, but the girl says that she would never accept him. He tries to talk to the girl, but she tells him not to go near her. The woman then says that she wasn't done talking to her daughter yet, but the girl tells them to leave her alone. The woman tells her to stop the drama, but the girl locks herself in her room. The woman then yells at her daughter, but the man says that she would eventually get used to his presence there. They would just need to give her time. The woman then thanks the man and says she loved him. The girl then says she needed to think of a way to end their relationship. She then said that it couldn't go on and wanted to think of a way to end that relationship soon. Meanwhile, the two were in the kitchen drinking coffee together and exchanging caresses. The young woman, then, was in her room thinking about what to do while the two continued in the kitchen, exchanging caresses. She then lays down on the bed and continues to think about what to do. Sometime later, the girl asks the man if he had seen her cell phone, as she was not finding it. He says he hadn't seen her cell phone. At that moment, she said that they had found it and crouched down to pick it up. The man tries not to look at the girl, but he ends up not resisting. She then thanks him and leaves. Outside, she meets her mother and the woman tells her to sit next to her. Sometime later, the girl calls out to the man and asks him to bring her a towel. He says he would get it for her and gets up from the couch to get it. When he goes to hand the girl the towel, she pulls him into the bathroom. The man then apologizes to the girl. She then tells him he didn't need to apologize and asks if he didn't like what he saw. He says he didn't want that to happen. Sometime later, the two meet. She then proceeds to pull him into her room, but the man says that her mother was at home. She then starts kissing the man and at that moment, the woman calls out to him. The woman then asks if her daughter was okay and she said she couldn't stand to be around that man anymore. The woman then tells her daughter not to forget that things were getting better for her. She then tells her daughter not to forget that she was going to take her boyfriend to dinner with them. She then says that she wouldn't forget. The woman then asks if the man was hungry and he said he was very hungry. She then said that she had news to tell and that they were going to meet her daughter's boyfriend that day. The man then said he was very happy about it. The woman then asks if her daughter would introduce her boyfriend to them. She said yes, but her boyfriend had some problems at work and he couldn't come. The woman then says that she and her husband were looking forward to meeting the girl's boyfriend, as they needed to know who he worked with and whether he was a good person. The man then says that they wanted to meet the girl's boyfriend, but meanwhile, he was fondling the girl under the table. The woman then asks if her husband was not surprised by the fact that the girl's boyfriend never went there to meet them. Tom the man says he had already talked to the girl and she had said he was a good guy and a hard worker. The woman then says that she was happy that he and his daughter were getting along well. The man then tells his wife to stay calm, as he had already talked to the girl. The woman then asks, where would her daughter go? She then said she was going out with some friends and the woman asks if her boyfriend would be there. She then says it was just her and a few friends and tells her mother to watch out for her husband. Later, the woman enters her daughter's room and notices that it was a mess. She then starts to pack her daughter's things, but she ends up finding a pregnancy test. She then said that she didn't believe her daughter was pregnant. She said she needed to talk to her daughter about that test. She then tells her daughter to come home immediately. She then said that she needed her daughter to come home, because she needed to talk to her urgently, but the girl says that she would not come back at that moment. The girl then asks what her mother wanted so urgently. The woman then asks, what was that test doing on her daughter's stuff? She then gets mad and says that her mother has no right to go through her things. The woman then says that her daughter was not ready to have a child. The girl then tells her mother to mind her own business. The woman then asks who the father of that child was. She then deduces that he is the girl's boyfriend and says that she wanted to see him right away. The girl then said that her mother had no right to go through her things. The man then tries to hug the girl, but she rejects him. He didn't ask what had happened and said that she liked it when he treated her that way before. She then says she needs to have a serious talk with a man, and he asks what the talk will be about. The girl says that the man would take over her child as she would not raise him alone. The man then tells the woman to ask her boyfriend to take over the child, but she says that no man would take another's child. The man then says that he would not assume any children. She then says that the man would take the child, whether he wants to or not. He then says that she was going to have to do something about that child, as he would not take her. At that moment, the woman arrives and asks what was going on there. The man says it was nothing, but the girl said he had abused her. The man then says that everything the girl was saying was a lie. The woman then asks if her husband had the nerve to do that to their daughter. The man then says that she was lying and that he didn't do it. The woman then gets very angry with the man and starts hitting him. The woman then yells at the man to get out of her house. He then says I would leave and calls them both crazy. The girl then says that she should have told her mother, but that the man had threatened her. The woman then asks her daughter for forgiveness for not having noticed it before.